This is a video for Junior Egg for JREG on YouTube. So if you see this video, send that to that guy. So I want to talk about my political affiliation, so to speak, which it's kind of an absurdist, kind of multifaceted type of deal. But if I was to get real serious with it and try to give a serious answer, I would say it's kind of a eco-fascist, anti-consumer movement that is based in hyperminimalism. So I've got my backpack here, and like pretty much everything I own is in this backpack except for some food in my cabinets. That's hot. Um, and pretty much everything is in my backpack, and I put all these resources online. I created the second largest minimalist community on the internet, which is the One Bag subreddit about living out of a backpack. And this is kind of an eco-fascist thing in the same way that you could say that Islam is a religion of peace. I would say that basically I personally do not want to force other people to live out of a backpack, right? But I would say that I'm hoping that if enough people do it, that there's going to be these droves of people living out of backpacks, and they'll see somebody who's living like a boomer, and then they'll be like, oh, that's disgusting, why would you do that? Similarly to like how if Muslims think that pork is unclean, if they think it's not safe to eat, and if there's enough of them in the room, then they all might come together and laugh at the person who's eating pork, and that's almost like a kind of like a soft Sharia. And that's kind of the extent to where I would take it. Now, you mentioned, I don't want to. I actually can't talk about this one part, but basically, uh, certain there's certain people in history who have been on the One Bag subreddit. I won't name who. I don't want to get all excited about all this crazy stuff that we don't want to talk about. But basically, certain really big people have been on the One Bag subreddit, and I'm not going to name them. And basically, it definitely attracts a type of neurospicy type of person because it's almost like living like a monk. It's a lot like living like a monk. You have to totally change the way you do life. Um, so these hyper minimalist eco fascists, they're kind of like technological nomads. So we're definitely buying into the idea of like a techno minimalist supremacist type of situation where you should theoretically be able to go to Walmart and pay $30 for a smartphone, and that $30 smartphone should be everything you need to be happy. And if it's not, then you're killing the planet, right? That's the idea. So, and it's my plastic consumption. I'm not going to say it's the best in the world, and I do drink lots of energy drinks that probably hurts the planet. But basically, I'm doing what I can. I probably live a more environmentally friendly life than a lot of people on the planet because I live out of a backpack, and I just do. I have all my fun on my computer. If I want to have fun, all I can do is I can go for a walk, or I can go talk to somebody in real life, or I can go do something online, and that's all I can do for fun, except maybe exercise or eat or something. So um, that's the idea. Is this kind of hyper minimalist, hyper anti capitalist type of thing. There's the meme where it says the greatest danger to the bankers or something, and it shows a happy farmer, and he says, "I have everything I need on my homestead, and I'm not going to need to buy anything else ever again." That's the idea behind. That's a similar kind of idea behind the hyper minimalism, except the farmer is maximalist. The farmer achieves not having to buy anything else by like having so many tools on their farm that they're just completely self-sufficient, and they're kind of hoping that the government will die so that they can just live on the farm for the rest of their life and no one will ever show up for taxes. But the technological nomadist, the ultra minimalists, they're achieving buying less stuff by hyper optimizing their gear. So like there's this weird phenomenon with hyperminimalists where you would think that we don't care about stuff, but we actually care about stuff even more than someone who's not a minimalist, right? So, like, a lot of care went into choosing every single piece of possession that I own, whether it be my only fork right here. I spent at least 30 minutes choosing this fork, and the combined product of my gear list is like the result of many countless hours and hours and hours of work. But I've gotten to the point where now, because my gear is so optimized for living out of a backpack, now I probably don't have to ever buy anything again unless something breaks, right? So because I don't have to pretty much don't have to buy anything ever again, my expenses have gone a lot, like way down. My bills are very low. I have some of the lowest bills in America, most likely, for someone who works, for someone who doesn't live off the government. And that's just a nutshell. I want to spend 4 more minutes talking because that's how long the YouTube overlords are going to give me to talk. But where we stand on the political spectrum, it's not. So the vast majority of the one bag subreddit is obviously very far left. Then I've created the fast meme movement. If you don't know about that, go reddit.com/rfastman and you go down that rabbit hole. The fast meme movement is an anti-censorship version of hyperminimalism, where we're not necessarily right-wing, but we are ultra-free speech, so we do believe in the ability to post right-wing memes and say bad words. And basically, it's a more silly, more focused on things like not necessarily gun ownership, but about the culture of gun ownership, and just kind of like more focused on like, I don't know, like a kind of a realistic view on history, you know. And then there's like the ultra left one baggers. Most one baggers are probably centrists, but then there's like the ultra left one baggers that are like, we're gonna force everyone to own nothing, be happy, and you're gonna eat the bugs, and you're gonna, and I hope a girl likes me on Instagram. I hope a girl looks at my minimalist Instagram and wants to make me her minimalist king. Uh, but the main issue with the one bagging thing, why the idea of one bag fell apart, is that it's really not legal to live on the street anywhere in the world. And even if you find a place where for some reason they'll let you live on the street there, if a homeless person comes up and starts blowing fentanyl in your face and you call the police are going to arrest you. They're not going to do anything to defend these poor street people. So the only legal way I've found to live out of a backpack is to live on the trails. If you have the right paperwork, you can live on the trails as long as you want. But I'm running out of time in my video, so I'm gonna call it short.